the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Out Florida Senator Shevrin Jones launched a congressional bid after Representative Frederica Wilson announced her retirement. He aims to become Florida's first openly gay elected congressman.
A Northwestern University study finds voters increasingly accept gay candidates, but gender-nonconforming men, not so much.
Republican Senate candidate Bobby Charles drew backlash for comparing transgender youth to animals, rejecting gender diversity with biblical references and criticizing schools and gender-affirming care during a Maine interview.
A trans woman in Wyoming could face felony charges for defending herself with a gun during an attack at a bar. Yet the attacker faces no consequences.
Former President Joe Biden accepted a Stonewall Award in Philadelphia. He was honored for his LGBTQ+ advocacy. The awards were selected by Mark Segal, one of the last living participants of the 1969 Stonewall uprising. All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ+ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 12 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the Rainbow family. There is no other news program in the world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, June 8th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ+ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America. Hotspots Happening Out South Florida.
This year, our magazine celebrates 41 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and Queer News Tonight celebrates our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ+ television stories told. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchor at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my homie, my bestie. I'm so happy to have this Monday fun day with him, John Hayden. A journalist for 31 years, he now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ+ issues in Wilton, Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome back to the show, John. What a jam-packed weekend we both had. Oh, my goodness.
We did. We did.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted. Exhausted. Overstimulated.
Overstimulated.
Oh my God. So there were some great events this weekend.
Yes,
we're
there
going
were.
to get to those here. You were at most of them. But there was Oakland Park Pride,
Yep.
which went down great. Unfortunately, I didn't get to attend because I was attending my brother's bachelor party.
Whoop, whoop.
Went down at the Hard Rock Guitar Hotel. We had a cabana. We ate tons of food, drank frozen drinks.
Yes.
But aside from the party, it's just, sometimes it's always great to get that core group of like life friends back together, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that never really get together in this particular combination and you don't get to see. So Keith thank you so much for organizing it. Will, my brother, I love you so much. Brian, my brother-in-law now, you were great. And Chris Schuster, thank you so much for coming together and being part of our family. Some of you for more than 25 years.
Wow, how beautiful is that? You know, there's nothing like family. And then family and debauchery go hand in hand, you know? And to do it at the Hard Rock, like it doesn't get any better than that Guitar Hotel. My God, and the cabanas, you were lavish this weekend, boo.
We were bougie bitches.
You were. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan and Eric, by the way. They helped us out.
Susan Renison and Eric Eldridge over there at the Hard Rock. They're incredible. So it was a bachelor weekend. All right. So you ended up at the strip club, right? Looking at tatas and giving singles like I told you, right? That $20 I gave you that was supposed to go in a certain G-string landed there, right?
At Johnson's, but they went to no, they went to a bar. I could not last. I mean, I was willing to go, but bitches, I'm north of 50. I could not. I was well asleep by the time they got there. But I saw the text chain the next morning, and it appears that that there was no debauchery. Everything was definitely debauched.
Yes. Because your sister-in-law's watching, right? Yes, nothing happens to new sister-in-law.
But what did you do this weekend?
Oh my God, listen, kid. Oh my God. My eyes hurt, you know, like the bottoms of my toes hurt. Like, how is that even possible? Like, oh my goodness. One magical weekend was ridiculously amazing. Ethan Suarez of Pineapple Healthcare, congratulations, kid. Every person that was there was having an incredible time. All the pool parties were electrifying. I've never seen so much male ass in my life. I had a great time. I had to come back Saturday night because I had to host community at the Arch Center, which will, again, follow my social media so you can see. It was an incredible time. I got to hang out with Alyssa Edwards, kid.
Love, and hashtag jealous.
I can't do it. Can you do it?
Oh, no. No.
All right. Well, welcome to the Faye and John show. Thank you so much, John, for being here. We're going to get started on Queer News Tonight.
And let's welcome tonight's lead anchor. Not Faye who, not Faye when, and for God's sakes, not Faye where. It's FayWhat! She is a legendary events host, television, radio personality, the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Wilton Manors is celebrating 26th annual Stonewall Pride and Glow Parade next Saturday, June 20 on Wilton Drive. Faye, what's happening out?
I'm so excited about this, John. I mean, this is like one of my favorite things in life every year. So the 26th annual Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival returns next Saturday, June 20th, bringing thousands of people together for a day of LGBTQ plus pride, entertainment, and community and celebration and hotness. Festivities run from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. with the vibrant Glow Night Parade stepping off at 8 p.m. This year's Grand Marshals include Raquel Williams, Cal Gajraj, Tatiana Williams, Dan Bassett, and T.P. Lords, honoring leaders making an impact across South Florida and beyond. Visitors can expect live performances, vendors, community organizations, music, food, and unforgettable nightlife energy throughout Wilton Manors. More details available at stonewallpride.lgbt. You know, like I said, this is one of my favorite things to do, John, is to call out the parade. Like ever since I was a kid, I've loved parades, you know, and to be that loud voice that you hear over the loudspeaker announcing the next incredible nonprofit organization or the next politician or the next bar, you know, because our community is rich and everybody wants to be part of this parade. So it's just incredible that I get to call it out every year. And let's talk about these Grand Marshals together.
Let's do it. Okay.
You know, Dr. Cal Gajraj is a close friend. Yep. He is an anchor here at Queer News Tonight. And he's also, you know, a bigwig over at Can Community Health, which does so much for our community, especially really does, right now where, you know, people, healthcare cuts and all kinds of craziness. You know, Cal has stepped up like no other, making sure that we're represented and that Can is there at every turn. I was at one magical weekend and I was like, wow, hey, you're here too.
Wait, you know, up there?
No, but his team did.
Oh, good.
Yes, his team did. So Cal, incredible. I love that he's being recognized as one of the Grand Marshals. T.P. Lords is just an institution here in South Florida. And she's one of the Grand Marshals as well. You know, I asked her and I said, you know, have you been a Grand Marshal before? She's never been a grand marshal anywhere.
No.
Okay. Stonewall Pride is the first time that she's being honored with that incredible honor. The rest of the folks, Tatiana Williams, oh my God. I mean, and aside from being beautiful, what she has done for the trans community, what Trans Inclusive does, you know, she sees, hears, and feels what is going on in the community and stands up for them and does what's right, you know?
She does. She is a force. And also Dan Bassett. Who just stepped down after like 20 years, I think, as the leader of Pride bands here in South Florida. A wonderful guy. I've gotten to interview him a couple times. The work he does, the way he makes music accessible, not just to our amateur musicians in the gay community at large, but to the Pride Youth Band. I mean, you know, it says, you know, we are here. Everyone is welcome. And so these kids get a place to go and make music and learn about what it means to be a band and be a team. So congratulations, Dan, on this.
100%.
Maybe nothing against the others, but this is like my personal.
No, I get it.
Warm my heart.
Yeah. And we can't mention all of them without mentioning also Raquel, who is a representative out of Fort Lauderdale, who has served community for a very long time. She is an ally. And as we know, we could do nothing without our allies. So again, deserving.
And, a big wig in the city of Fort Lauderdale. I believe we're city manager.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good on her, because we need to look out for our allies too and say thank you for being there for us every day. Pride's a day. The other 364 days, she is in Fort Lauderdale City Hall, whatever passes for City Hall these days, and looking out for us. So thank you so much.
100%. And I've been seeing her at events. So it's not just saying, you know, those folks that only like have our backs during Pride because they feel they have to, because they're afraid of us, and I can see why. Right? Well, I've been going to events seeing Raquel there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, you know, she's not just talking about it, she's doing the damn thing.
She is.
You know?
She is.
We look forward to seeing you all at the Stonewall Pride Parade. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Bring some suntan block. What is it that you use on your white self? Block.
Hats.
No, sunblock. I'm Latina. We don't use sunblock.
SPF Infinity.
That, you know, don't bring your dogs. They don't need to deal with all that heat and stuff like that. It's not worth it. You'll be happy picking up your swag from different organizations, having a great time. We moved the parade to a later because it's cooler at that time. We did it all for you. All right. That's what Stonewall's all about. So make sure you join us this Saturday.
Yep, June 20th on Wilton Drive. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
Hi, I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Florida's first out state senator, Shevrin Jones, launches historic bid for U.S. Congress. Out Florida lawmaker Shevrin Jones has officially entered the race for Congress in South Florida's open 24th congressional district seat. The Miami Gardens Democrat will launch his campaign Tuesday in Pembroke Pines. In his recent social media video, Jones said, quote, "I shared that I would not be seeking re-election to the Florida Senate. I also told you that when I was ready to share what comes next, you will hear it directly from me. That time has come, and I want you all to meet me where it all started," end quote. The seat opened after longtime Democratic U.S. Representative Frederica Wilson announced her retirement a few days ago. Jones made history in 2020 when he became Florida's first openly gay state senator. If elected to Congress, he would become the first openly gay congressman elected in Florida. The race is expected to draw strong competition. Miami-Dade County Commissioner Oliver Gilbert has also announced plans to run. Still, Democrats are heavily favored to keep the deep blue district. Jones has become one of Florida's leading voices for LGBTQ plus rights, especially during Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' push to roll back queer protections. Jones has also served as chair of the Miami-Dade Democratic Party and is widely seen as a rising figure in Florida Democratic politics. This makes me happy. Listen, representation matters. And Florida gave us the first openly gay state senator, and now Shevrin Jones is aiming higher. In a state where some politicians treat us people like campaign props, seeing one of our own run for Congress, that's not symbolism, baby. That is strategy. And that is exactly what we need right now, especially coming from a voice like Shevrin.
Yeah, and, you know, he's entering the race late. Mm-hmm. You know, I believe qualifying ends this Friday.
Whew.
So, but you know, he's not new to politics or office. He's got good, strong name recognition in the district.
Yes.
Right. And I just would like to take a moment to say thank you to
Federica.
Congresswoman Frederica.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all you did for all those decades. Remember, she didn't just show up with in a fabulous hat one day at Congress and say, I'm here. She worked so hard for our communities long before she ever went to Washington.
100%.
So, girl, thank you. Thank you so much for what you did.
And,
now,
and looking fabulous doing it, okay? I mean, because, I mean, I'm not sure how old she is, but she would always be from top to bottom incredibly bougie, beautiful, and just like taking over. Wherever she walked in, people stopped, noticed, and listened to her. And that's what we needed for the Black community, for the LGBTQ plus community, for the Latino community in Miami. That girl, everything.
Now, Chev,
Take
the torch, run with it. Be our voice. Be a voice for all of us.
Yeah.
Black.
Yep.
Queer.
Yep.
Maybe even Republicans. You know, you have to represent everybody. And that's the thing. While he's been in Tallahassee, he has been trying to reach across the aisle. It's hard to find a hand to grasp over there, but sometimes he tries to find it, or sometimes he finds it, right? So I just can't wait till we're sitting here on January 5th. And he gets sworn in.
Wow.
Super excited.
Yeah, me too. We'll be super excited for that. Shevrin, we're with you, my friend.
Hey, everyone. I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up politics. Northwestern University study finds voters still penalize gender-nonconforming candidates. The research suggests gay political candidates are gaining broader voter acceptance, but candidates who do not conform to traditional masculine norms still face electoral disadvantages. Led by Assistant Professor of Political Science Martin Nonoff and published in the Journal of Politics, the study uses survey experiments involving 2,600 participants, including adults and university students. Participants evaluated hypothetical congressional candidates using campaign photos and audio clips. Researchers signaled sexual orientation through references to a candidate's husband or wife, and adjusted photos and audio to appear more masculine or feminine. The findings are clear. Identifying as gay lowered a candidate's support by 7 points. But that isn't great, but it's better than what it has been. Gender nonconforming appearance or voice reduced support by another 7 points. The study also shows Democrats and Republicans penalize gender nonconformity at about the same rate. Nonoff said, quote, "What surprised me most was that Democrats push gender nonconformity at roughly the same rate as Republicans," end quote. The study also found that straight male candidates who appeared gender nonconforming faced similar penalties. Nonoff added, quote, "We used to refuse to elect gay people. Now we elect them, but so long as they conform to a very particular version of masculinity." You know, I'll tell you, this doesn't surprise me very much. The Democrat and Republican split being equal surprises me, but this just sort of quantifies what we always sort of know, that you know, a lot of straight people and even some in our community get the ick.
Yeah.
And we need to work to change that.
Yeah, and a lot of people still aren't educated also on gender nonconforming, on non-binary, on all of that. People just kind of like lump us together and expect to just know, and you don't know. You know, I mean, so let me get this straight. People say they're fine with gay candidates as long as they're gay the right way. This study says candidates lose 7 points for being perceived as gender nonconforming. So the translation there is that prejudice just got a makeover. But she's still wearing the same ugly shoes. All right. That's what I got that from that. I mean, come on.
You said it in about a minute 30 less than I did. Well done.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up trans rights. Maine GOP candidate cites Noah's Ark to deny the existence of transgender youth. Republican gubernatorial candidate Bobby Charles is facing criticism after comparing transgender youth to children who identify as animals and invoking the biblical story of Noah's Ark while discussing gender identity. During an interview with Christian Civic League of Maine leader Nick Adolphson, Charles criticized schools for accommodating LGBTQ plus students. Charles said, quote, "You've got kids now that apparently think that they're cats and dogs, and we are accommodating that garbage. What do you do, by the way, when you get to be 20 and you break it to them? Actually, you're not a cat. and you will have to go to work and going to not do this kitty litter crap anymore, end quote. The conversation centered on parental rights and claims that Maine schools help students socially transition without informing parents. Charles pledged immediate action if elected governor. He said, quote, "I'm going to make Donald Trump, who I like, look slow. We're going to move very fast," end quote. Charles also criticized gender-affirming care and compared gender dysphoria to phobias. He said, quote, "We know the Bible has a very clear understanding. Noah didn't take 27 genders of animals. He just took 2, as far as I remember. There's only one God, and he makes male and female, and that's the way that will always work," end quote. Folks, I got to tell you at home, that was hard to read. If your understanding of gender comes from counting animals on a boat, maybe you're not ready to lead a state, my friend. And for the record, Noah's Ark wasn't a biology class. It was a flood story. Somebody hand this man a library card and a freaking reality check. Oh, my God.
Well, don't hand him a library card. He'll just use it to find a library and close it down. And when he says he remembers Noah's Ark, I think he means because he was actually there. Yeah, he was among those. But, you know, this race is interesting because Maine has 2 congressional districts. District 2 is very rural, spread out, and very deep red. District 1 includes Portland and Bangor and is very blue and populous. This guy's going all in on Trump. Maine will elect Republicans. The current sitting senator is like a 4 or 5 term. Susan Collins is a 4 or 5 term Republican that's been there, but she's moderate. She's caucused with Democrats on important legislation before. So it'll be interesting if this will be a signal to find out where Maine is going. Because if they elect this guy, it's a signal that they aren't just done with Trump. They are doubling down and ready for more. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah. His opponent is likely to be the Secretary of State, a Democrat, who just a couple weeks ago stood up for trans kids and helped stop a measure to go on the ballot to discriminate against them further. So, wow. So we'll see. This is going to be one of the fun for people like me, races to watch.
Okay, we'll be definitely keeping an eye on this race for sure in Maine.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up the USA view. Trans woman Rihanna Kelver charged despite Wyoming's Stand Your Ground self-defense law. Kelver was outside a bar in Laramie, Wyoming, when a man identified as Scott Durham shouted homophobic and transphobic slurs at her before allegedly shoving her to the ground. These are according to reports from Slate and Cowboy State Daily. Court testimony and surveillance video show Kelver injured her tailbone during the attack. She then pulled a pistol from her bag, loaded a round, and pointed the weapon at Durham, who ran off. Reports say Kelver never fired the weapon and kept the safety on. Wyoming also has a stand your ground law, but despite that, Kelver is facing 2 felony charges, aggravated assault and possession of a deadly weapon with unlawful intent. She also faces a misdemeanor charge of interference with a peace officer. If convicted, she faces several years in prisons and thousands of dollars in fines. Video evidence reviewed by Slate shows Kelver alone, outnumbered, physically assaulted, and left on the ground facing multiple aggressors. However, Kelver maintains she feared for her safety, telling Cowboy State Daily, quote, "I did not go looking for confrontation. I genuinely believed my safety was threatened, and my actions were taken in response to that threat," end quote. And here's where it gets even worse. No charges are filed against Durham, the guy who bullied her and then ran away when she stood up to his bullying. Now, of course, the specific languages of stand your ground laws vary from state to state, right? We have one here in Florida, and it's interpreted, ironically, very liberally. Like, if someone steps onto your property and you feel threatened, you can shoot out the window, right?
Yep.
For parking spaces, if you feel threatened, at the mall.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how Wyoming's work, but it sounds like it's stand your ground for me, but not for thee.
For not thee.
Yeah.
God, this is just awful. I mean, so the person allegedly attacked gets charged and the alleged attacker walks away. Like, somebody make that make sense to me and explain to me that it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a trans woman. You know, I mean, this just seems so messed up. I guess these laws are flexible, just dependent on who's being attacked.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's just disgusting and awful. And I mean, it's just not making sense. The math is not mathing to me.
You know, I think we forget that, like, even here we have, you know, deep redneck parts of Florida, and we think of Texas, but, you know, there are all those blue spots. There, you can go through several states without any specific blue spot. Idaho, either of the Dakotas, and Wyoming. I mean, it's just dangerous for us in some of those places. But
I mean, and like, you reading it made me, I was like, oh my God, she had every right. Like, think about it. She was pushed down to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. In a forceful way. You know, she was still being just tackled with horrible, bad words and all kinds of stuff. At that moment, she feared for her life as a transgender woman. She didn't want to end up a statistic. You know, and went to her bag and grabbed this and did not go crazy and start shooting or anything. Yeah. You know, became a law-abiding rifle owner, a gun owner, you know.
She wasn't even walking around with it loaded. We said she had the bag in her the gun in her purse. She pulled it out, loaded around. So, like, it wasn't even loaded yet.
Yeah.
I mean, she was being about as responsible as a concealed weapon carrying gun owner can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I look forward to following this story.
For sure. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Biden honored for LGBTQ plus advocacy at Philadelphia Stonewall Awards during Pride Month. Former President Joe Biden made a surprise appearance in Philadelphia on Sunday to accept an award recognizing his longtime advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community at the annual Stonewall Awards ceremony. During the Pride Month event that was held to honor LGBTQ plus leaders, pioneers, and allies in Philadelphia, Biden told the crowd, quote, "There's nothing more American than the fight for equality," end quote. Pennsylvania State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta introduced Biden and praised his record on queer rights. Kenyatta highlighted Biden's appointments of Pete Buttigieg and Dr. Rachel Levine, the first openly gay cabinet member and first openly transgender person confirmed by the U.S. Senate. The awards were selected by Mark Segal, founder and publisher of Philadelphia Gay News and one of the last living participants of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising. Among this year's honorees was also Jason Bauman, president of Philly Black Pride, recognized for his advocacy supporting Black LGBTQ plus Philadelphians. Councilmember Mark Squaya received the Pioneering Ally Award for his work supporting LGBTQ plus initiatives, including gender-neutral bathroom legislation and the city's Pride Visitor Center. Well, love him or hate him politically, history is history. And Joe Biden was saying marriage equality on national television before a whole lot of politicians found their rainbow merch, okay? Some people evolve. Some people wait for polling data. It all depends, okay? But I like that they gave him this award. I love Philadelphia for doing so, you know, I mean, and this made me smile.
This does make me smile. And thank you, Joe Biden, not just for getting ahead of everybody, including President Obama, on marriage equality, right? Thank you so much for that. I just don't know what else to say. I mean, he was a good president. He stood up for us. He stood up for all Americans. Remember, a lot of the Build Back Better went to red states because he said that's where they need it the most, right? Yeah. And, and we had Biden, and America chose bigotry, as they so often do.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up the USA view. New GLAAD poll finds voters prioritize cost of living over anti-trans politics. A new poll from GLAAD suggests most Americans are more concerned about affordability than attacks on transgender rights ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The survey of more than 5,000 U.S. adults found only 8% of voters consider trans issues a top concern. Instead, 44% said inflation and the rising cost of living are their biggest priority. The findings come as some Republicans continue making anti-trans policies a major political focus. But nearly 75% of respondents said they would support a candidate who believes we all deserve the freedom to live our lives without fear or discrimination. 7 in 10 voters also said they prefer candidates focused on lowering living costs rather than restricting trans rights. Meanwhile, 65 believe politicians scapegoat trans people to distract from other issues. And I have to agree with that one, you know. Only 8% of voters say trans issues are a top concern, while 44% are worried about their wallets. You know, that's the truth. So maybe stop blaming trans people for everything and explain why eggs cost more than my first apartment.
It was a small apartment.
It was.
I see, and you look at this from a positive prism. I look at it as very disturbing numbers. Yes, hopefully there is a law of diminishing returns on the fear mongering around trans people. But 8%, 1 in 12 people say it's their top concern. That's frightening to me. That is assuming that most statistics say 0.2% of the population is trans. So that's 40 times more than the population represented. So the fear mongering is working. And the thing is that when you go looking for votes, like we already know how we're going to vote, right? And a lot of people on the other side already know who they're going to vote. So what you do is you go sweeping for votes. You look into the dusty corners, right? You find, oh, here's a few voters, trans, and they're like, oh my God, and they'll come with you. Because that's where you're looking for the votes, in this day and age, at least in this election and probably 28. So this story scares the hell out of me.
And they see a person saying, trans is scary, come with me. And they'll go with them because of the uneducation of it all. You know, and the rhetoric that, like you said, is working.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. The show goes on. Michigan City Council reverses drag story hour ban. After much pearl clutching and fear mongering, the City Council of Madison Heights, Michigan, reversed course and allowed the event to happen at yesterday's Pride. Now, the queen in question wasn't just any old performer. You see, Jaden Black is also Paul Bowling, a former K-12 music and theater teacher who's taught hundreds of students. Last week, the council voted to ban the show at the thought of a drag queen being near children is immoral on its face. At a special meeting, though, on Friday, the mayor apologized, saying, quote, "Our responsibility as elected officials is to listen, learn, and to make decisions reflecting both our values in the diverse voices of our residents. Today's action reflects that, and it recognized that collaboration and continued dialogue and how it can lead to better outcomes." The 4-3 vote to ban became a 6-0 vote in favor. And see, now this story should scare the hell out of Republicans because people stopped. First they were fear-mongered. And then they listened. And then they learned. The story hour happened, and I checked, and the Detroit suburb was not smited from the map overnight. It is still standing, and apparently a good time was had by all.
The drag queen survived. The children survived. Civilization survived as we know it, you know. But how beautiful is that when someone will go and take the time to educate themselves? You know what I mean? A 4-3 panic attack became a 6-0 apology. Right? Once people actually looked at the damn facts.
This story makes me happy. We've done a few stories that have made me angry tonight, but I love this story because this was ready to be a negative story, and the script got flipped. And honestly, I couldn't be happier.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up trans rights. Six Flags permanently bans teen accused of publicly exposing trans woman at Cedar Point. An Ohio teenager named Marquez D. Williams, accused of publicly exposing a transgender woman at Cedar Point amusement park, has been permanently banned from all Six Flags parks following the incident. Williams appeared in Sandusky Municipal Court on June 3rd, pleading not guilty to charges including persistent disorderly conduct, obstructing official business, resisting arrest, and theft. Prosecutors dropped an initial public indecency charge. Police say the alleged assault happened on May 26 when Williams allegedly approached the woman from behind and pulled down her skirt and underwear, exposing her buttocks and genitals in front of bystanders, including children. The woman reportedly told police she believed she was targeted because she is transgender. Authorities say Williams fled through the parking lot, leading to a pursuit. Police eventually had to use a taser to take him into custody, and I am so glad that they did. Pulling someone's clothes down in public isn't a prank. It's humiliation, and it's targeted humiliation. And when a trans person is targeted like this, let's call it what it looks like. Actions have consequences, sweetheart. Even roller coasters have height requirements for maturity, and I don't think that you have that at this time. I mean...
Remember a few years ago the clip, "Don't tase me, bro." Tase him. Tase him.
Twice.
Keep tasing him. And more seriously, I really hope, I mean, it says he's 18. So likely no adult record. Please don't plead this out for nothing. Please make him feel some consequence. He probably won't go to jail.
Yeah.
But some community service, a criminal record,
volunteering,
something.
Volunteering at a trans organization. That would be a great way to get this guy. I mean, come on, because I could just see it. Like, I used to have friends like this growing up in Jersey that would do stupid shit like that. I'm saying it, okay? You know, and that would think and target someone because they're bullies, because they want to get a laugh, and there's nothing funny about that. How dare you go and make a woman feel this way? You know, you deserve a lot more than that tasering.
Absolutely. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Gay adult star Drake Vaughn arrested on felony domestic violence charges in Las Vegas. According to court records cited by TMZ, Vaughn, whose legal name is Dawson Bacon, was arrested last week and faces 2 felony charges: domestic battery by strangulation and coercion involving threat or use of physical force, plus a misdemeanor domestic battery charge. A spokesperson for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said the attack happened at a Las Vegas home. Authorities say Vaughn attempted to strangle his partner. Additional details have not been released. Vaughn is known in the gay adult entertainment industry, won multiple GayVN awards in 2024. He is out on bail and told Out that it was all a publicity stunt. You know, publicity stunts don't usually come with probable cause hearings. I'm just saying. I've talked with someone in the industry, and let's just say not a lot of people are surprised by this. You know, of course, everybody comes out to pile on when the chips are
after,
down.
of course.
But I've seen several other adult performers come out and basically say, yeah, he was a douche and things like that. So, and you've met him. Yeah,
so I met him a couple of years ago. I was able to go to Fab Scout. Thank you, Howard Andrew, for the meeting. He let me use his space to interview Drake Vaughn. And I mean, I got to tell you, he seemed a little cocky, pun intended. You know, but that kind of comes with the territory, you know what I mean? And there was there seemed to be like a party aspect. But again, that comes with the territory and the age that he is. You know, again, I don't give a beep if you're famous, infamous, or internet famous, okay? Domestic violence is never a part of the performance, ever. Yep. And if the allegations are true, this isn't tea, it's freaking terrifying is what it is. I mean, strangling somebody is, you know, there's no mistake in that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, accountability doesn't get canceled because somebody has followers, you know? Like I said, I interviewed Drake and I hope that they come. I'm saddened by this all because, again, he was a rising star. He is a rising star. I don't know if that will change that in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, we'll keep note to it, you know?
The industry seems to have a high tolerance for criminal records.
High, you get it? High tolerance.
But we will continue. And to follow this, and you know, I just want to give thoughts to the victim. I don't know if it was male or female. You know, Drake has posted, you know, that he's got a boyfriend, a hunky daddy boyfriend. But there's also reports that he's just 100% straight, and this is all just
that he was gay for pay.
But but that doesn't matter. Whomever he assaulted allegedly, I hope they get counseling. I hope that they get the justice that they absolutely deserve.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up the USA view. Nazi symbols, hate speech disrupt downtown parade celebrations at Georgia Pride. Organizers of Athens Pride Fest are condemning a group that displayed Nazi symbols and shouted hate speech during Saturday's Pride Parade in downtown Athens, Georgia. According to Elliot Williamson, executive director of Athens Pride and Queer Collective, 7 or 8 men dressed in red and black carried a swastika flag and yelled anti-Semitic, racist, and anti-LGBTQ slurs as thousands attended the event. Organizers responded by using a hater blocker banner to shield parade participants and attendees from the group. Williamson said the men later moved away from the main parade route. The statement issued by Athens Pride and Queer Collective said, quote, "Their appearance was intended to intimidate, divide, and spread fear, but it failed to overshadow the overwhelming spirit of joy, solidarity, and love," end quote. Police monitored the event throughout the day. No significant injuries were reported. What is that, a hater blocker? Like, I need that everywhere I go. Can we just take that everywhere we go? Hater! John, wrap us up in it. No problem. Nothing to see here. Let's move on. Look, I imagine showing up to a Pride event waving a swastika and thinking you're the good guy. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? The only thing smaller than that crowd was their relevance, okay? Pride kept marching, love kept winning, and the haters got exactly what they fear most, being ignored.
Yep. Now, the copy we had said 8 men dressed in red and black carried a swastika flag, yelled anti-Semitic, racist, and LGBTQ slurs. That's a little wordy. Why didn't we just say Trump administration officials were on the scene?
Or 6 to 8 Trump idiots. Or, no, and like, why say what they were wearing, right? Okay, yeah, they matched, and what?
Well, they had that Nazi aesthetic that all of these president's supporters like to invoke because they're pretty sure they're winning. This is another example of Trump just saying it's okay to be bigoted and intimidating, and this is where we are. So hate blockers are now going to be the norm. But fuck those guys.
Ooh, wow, John. I thought we were going to go a no cursing show, and I guess we didn't do it. All right. We almost did it. Almost did it. But folks, listen, wherever you're watching from, and if you're going to Pride, understand that things like this can happen, right? They want videos of us. They want, pictures of us doing stuff. Be alert. Be aware. If you see something, say something. Always the right way to go. These were today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchor represents the best of our LGBTQ family. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place on earth telling these types of LGBTQ plus stories. That's the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and of course, Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us, me and John Hayden. And on behalf of us and Queer News Tonight, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.
Good night.